Alright, we're back. I wanted to see what was in the corner of that room, but I have to fight another icicle. I feel like Maria has so little HP that we're just going to be hoping she doesn't die throughout like the entire game. What is this? Alright. I have a feeling that this is like some room like in Final Fantasy 1 where you get into a fight every step and it's supposed to be for like training purposes. But you know, this could be like the dumbest idea ever. Because like newer games, newer Final Fantasy games don't have the ridiculous amount of enemy encounters as these old games do. And they don't find the need to have some kind of like room where there's a fight every step so that you have to like, so that you can train or whatever. And like usually the monster arenas don't give you experience at all. So they don't find the need to like give you like in a room to like grind. But these old games where you get into a fight every other step already found it necessary to make like one dungeon where you can like get into a fight every step to like train. It just seems like ridiculous to me that they would even do that. So anyways, that thing moving was just part of the background. I thought it was. And I'm not trying to get up there like press X on it or anything because I'm not trying to walk all the way up there and then walk all the way back with a frickin' encounter every step. So while we're doing this malarkey, let me find another question here. Hopefully Gus doesn't die here. So, Dante Clark, he asked, why am I playing the Final Dungeon theme at the end of my, what is this, episode 7, episode 8? Episode 7. I actually, back in the, oh my god, they're all attacking Gus, but he didn't die. Back in my old episodes of the Final Fantasy Let's Play 1, the first game, oh, dang it. Now I can't revive him, because Phoenix Downs are $1,000. It's not good. So back in my other Let's Play, and then also my Let's Play Mega Man, I used to just play random music at the end of the dungeons. Or, the end of the dungeons, the end of the episodes. But, this time, I decided to just play the songs in order of the soundtrack. So I downloaded the soundtrack, and then I'm just playing, at the end of each episode, I play a song on the soundtrack. And then once I get through all of them, I'll probably just loop and go back to the first song again. But funnily enough, I guess if that's the final dungeon music, which I don't know if it is or not, but according to Dante it is, that song is like the 7th song on the soundtrack. Because it's on the 7th episode. That was the 7th song listed on the soundtrack. So I guess they had the final dungeon as the 7th song for some reason. The other ones seem like they're in order, because it starts off with like the world map music, and then it has like the first town music, and then the shop music, and then like the first dungeon music, and then the second town music. So it's like it seemed like it was in order, and then all of a sudden it's just like final dungeon music for some strange reason. To be honest, I kind of want to leave this dungeon because Gus is dead, and this whole dungeon, you know, he's not going to be getting experience, which kind of sucks. And also, I don't know if I can get through this whole dungeon without Gus. He's like my best character other than now Joseph. Also, if we could like run away from a fight, that'd be great. Because I have like yet to run away from a fight that had more than like 2 enemies in it. I guess you just can't when there's like 1,000 enemies, which sucks because it's the one time you want to run away is when there's like 1,000 enemies. Please don't die, Joseph. Alright, at least fire works on the undead, as you would expect it to. So, do my characters get, like, experience if I use skills outside of battle? Like, do I get, you know, experience for using Cure if I use it now? Like, right now it's at 37. Okay. Oh, it even said on the corner, like, it says right there, 1 out of 45. So, that's nice. Although I don't know if she gets experience, but Cure certainly does, so that's nice. Notice, what is that? A gem that calls forth an ice storm. I guess it's like an attack item. Alright, I'm gonna get out of this dungeon, because I feel like I'm not gonna be able to get through the rest of it on what I have now. Also, fire better, like, completely rip these guys, because they're freaking icicles. I mean, that could have been better, but Maria kind of sucks, so I can see why it didn't do that much damage. At least it one-shot him. I'm cool with that, at least. Let's get out of here. Plus, I know now not to go in that room. And I have that one chest picked up, so I can skip that part. I wonder if I hit him all with fire, if it'll still one-shot him. Nope, it sucks. Alright, let's see if I can find another question here. I think that's all the questions on episode 7. So let's go to episode 8. Alec Toledo said, "Hey Death, it's been a while. Got a couple questions for you." Alright. 1. Why is Sony taking forever to make Kingdom Hearts 3 and other games that are highly anticipated by fans? Well, I had a big, like, mental breakdown about that on an episode of my live show. But I talked about how Sony continues to make games that no one wants or cares about, but fails to make games like Final Fantasy 15, Final Fantasy 7 Remake, Kingdom Hearts 3, Final Fantasy 12, Zodiac Age, all the games that everyone are looking forward to keep getting delayed and keep getting pushed back. That Final Fantasy 7 Remake still doesn't have a release date. Kingdom Hearts 3 still doesn't have a release date. Final Fantasy 15 just got pushed back again to I think it's November now. But they continue to make games like Nier and all these other. I mean, right now they're not making too many games, but they have certainly made plenty of games in the past year that, you know, were not exactly what everyone's been waiting for. I don't know. They seem to have this very strange. I mean, I don't know. I'm not Square. I'm not a video game developer. I don't know. You know, I do not have the answers, but at least in the fans' eye, you have to start to think, like, that their priorities seem kind of wonky. Two, how's the latest Final Fantasy tutorial coming along? I'm super excited to see your next character breakdown. Yeah, I'm glad you're excited for it. Also, Maria just got wasted. Don't worry about that. I'm going to be doing an update video soon. So basically, by the time this episode comes out, it'll probably already be out. So this will be kind of a moot point then. But hopefully, by the time this episode comes out, there will be an update video on my channel, because when I release the new in-depth look video, which is just about done, I'm putting together the final edit now. Once I release that video, I plan on releasing an update video the next day that will talk about my new schedule. So I've finally come up with like a good schedule of how I'm going to be releasing videos so that everyone knows when stuff is coming out. And there will be a video talking all about that. So hopefully that answered all your questions. If it didn't, please go watch it. And if you have any questions, you know, you can leave a comment on that video. But basically, in that video, I will line out, like, you know, when the tutorials come out, when the Let's Play episodes come out. I plan on having the tutorials be much more often. And if you want to see tutorials more often, I hate to ask for your money, but honestly, the best way to get tutorials more is to sign up for the Patreon page, because the more people that sign up for the Patreon page, the more I can take time out of my weekly schedule to do, you know, editing of videos and stuff. And once we hit the $1,000 mark on my Patreon, that's like my big goal I have, I will be quitting, you know, I will be literally working on this 40 hours a week, which I already pretty much do, but, you know, I'll be able to quit. I have, like, I don't really have a side job anymore, but I have other priorities. But if we hit that $1,000 mark, I pledge to spend at least 40 hours a week on 4A Productions every week, as if it were my real business suit and tie job. But like I said, I pretty much already do that. But yeah, the more people that sign up for the Patreon, the more I know that my content is being well received and that I can continue to do it without having to worry about my own physical well-being. And so I can put more time and effort into them. So, but yeah, they without worrying about the Patreon page or anything, you will be seeing tutorials more often. And the next in-depth video should already be out. You should be seeing it, or should have already seen it by the time this episode comes out of the Let's Play. And what else was I going to say? Oh, the one after that, so the one after the in-depth that I'm coming out with now is going to be another tutorial. I don't know what it's going to be of yet. I want to do a Chocobo guide, so it might be a Chocobo guide, because that's like a big request that I get a lot. But there's a lot. I have a huge list of tutorials that people would ask for. So I can pretty much pick and choose out of any of them, because they're all good ideas. Fat Falcon is back, and he asked, aside from Final Fantasy, are there any other RPG series that you like? And he named Dragon Quest and Bravely Default, which I don't play either of those. I've always wanted to play Bravely Default, but I'm not much of a mobile game player. I think there's a version out now on some console, like a remake of the portable one. I don't really know though. Maybe that was a different RPG. I don't know. I'll have to look into it, but I do want to play Bravely Default sometime. There's not many other RPG series that I follow, actually. I've just gotten into the Tales series because someone donated to me one of the games, and I've been playing that on 4A Live. So the Tales series is one that I would like to get into. Also Kingdom Hearts I obviously follow, but I haven't played like any of the spin-offs. Once they finally come up with a release date for Kingdom Hearts 3, I plan on going back and playing all of the spin-off games in order, because I thought that would be a really cool thing to do. Maybe even make a Let's Play out of it, or do it on 4A Live, but that would be really cool to do. I don't know why I'm in here. I have to go to the inn, and before that I have to go to church. But yeah, so that's obviously another RPG, if you even call it, if you're even talking about just regular RPGs and not. Actually, what in the world? He's like through their dead bodies. It's kind of cool that he does them both at the same time, though. I don't have to come in here twice. Now I can. Well, I don't even need to do that because I'm just going to the inn, anyways. Actually, why don't I use Maria's Cure, since I'm going to be going to the inn anyways. Might as well spam her Cure and give it some experience. Now I can go to the inn and get my MP back. I'm trying to think of what else. RPG series. No, there's a lot of different game series that I follow, but not really RPGs too much. A lot of times I've just stuck with Final Fantasy. Looking at my video games that are on my desk here, which is not a very good interpretation of all the games I own, but at least there's a couple sitting here. I might be able to see one that I'm... not really. Plus, a lot of RPG series seem to, like, kind of stick to, like, 1, 2, and 3 and then die off. Final Fantasy is really the only one that, like, keeps going forever. And Tales also has, like, 1 million games in the series. One game that I followed was Dot Hack, which I want to go back and play someday. I love the Dot Hack, and I didn't like the new ones. The new ones didn't do as good as the old ones, but the original 4 Dot Hack games were like some of the best games on PS2. Or wait, was it PS2 or PS... No, it was PS3, I think. I don't remember. Wait, maybe it was PS2. Yeah. But anyways, the Dot Hack games were amazing, and those were cool. They weren't turn-based RPGs, but they were still RPGs. And those were fun. I played through all of them, beat all of them, loved all of them. Always wanted to go back, but they're so grindy that once you beat them once, you don't really want to play them again. But it's been so long now that I think I can play them again and enjoy them. I don't know what else. Let me think about it. If you include Dark Souls as an RPG, kinda is. I followed Dark Souls as well. The only one I never played was Dark Souls 1, because I was told it was kind of shitty, but now I want to go back and play it. I think that's about it. I know there's some more, but not any that I'm like super into, like I would do a whole series of. And a lot of times I played one game in a series and then never played the others, which is kind of crappy. Like, I had a, I think it might have been a Tales game that I had for PS2 and then never played again. But, yeah. I wish I was better at keeping up with series titles. And I'm the kind of guy that won't play, like, the second of a series a lot of times. I have to play the first. But a lot of times the first is outdated, so I just end up not playing the series at all. And that's kind of frustrating. Plus, of course, it's Final Fantasy, because Final Fantasy, I started with 7 and then just made my way up from there and never went back. Which is why we're doing this Let's Play. See if there's any other questions. My boy Tropton asked, what did you want to be when you were growing up? I know you're living the dream now, but as a kid, you must have wanted to be a fireman, an astronaut, an otolaryngologist, otolaryngologist. The heck is that? Sounds like an eye doctor or something who's got Odo in it. I don't know. Anyways, I actually talked about this in the earlier episode. I talked about my dream job. When I was growing up, practically I wanted to be a video game journalist. But my dream job, like fireman, astronaut dream job, was to be an author. And I wrote a lot of different novels when I was growing up that I never finished. I had kind of a problem with finishing novels. I always laid out a roadmap for my novels, and then I would write like the first few chapters, and then I'd quit. So I'd either get another idea, or I would just stop writing it. I had a problem with finishing them, which I think a lot of authors have that problem. But I still really enjoyed writing, and as I got older, I tried again and again and again to get back into it, and never did finish any of my ideas, but they still have them. Still have them written down. I still have one story that I still really want to write that I still think is a good idea. Because a lot of times you get an idea for a story, and then by the time you get yourself to write it, you've come up with a better idea. But I still have this one idea that I've packed away. It was actually one of my first ideas. When I was like 15 years old, I came up with this idea. And over, you know, almost 10 years, I have refined it in my head over and over again to like this perfectly refined story that I think would make a great book. And if I were to ever actually like sit down and write, that'd probably be the story I'd write. But I've had tons of different ideas, tons of different stories that I've started, and I still one day, you know, if I ever retire, that's probably what I'll do, is I'll probably write novels, or at least try. It could be like the old Stephen King, you know, just keep writing book after book. But who knows? I'll probably be doing this till I die. Because working a job like this, especially if I, you know, do this the rest of my life, you don't really get a retirement unless you're super lucky and profitable, and you make a lot of money and you put it all aside for your own retirement. But you certainly don't get, you know, like an official retirement fund. You're kind of in charge of your own destiny. Alright, so I already went left, so I don't need to go that way. I'm trying to think if I ever wanted to be anything else. I don't think so. Ever since I even thought about what I would do when I grew up, I always wanted to be an author. I was never like into the firefighter or anything else. Dentist, doctor. Always wanted to be an author, never changed that. And actually, like I said, I wanted to start off by being a video game journalist until I got to college and I started taking English classes and I said, nope, this ain't for me. This is the worst thing ever. So, but I still have the skills. I still have the skills to write a book if I ever wanted to. Never had the time. Or actually set apart enough time to actually do it. At least the enemies in this cave are pretty weak. Except every once in a while I get some strong enemy, but these goblins are weak, I keep getting them, so it's working out nicely. Christopher Gates asked, did you ever play Xenosaga? I did not. But a lot of people ask me that. I want to play that and a couple other games, Gears, a couple games that I want to try out, maybe on my live stream someday if anyone donates them, or one day I could, you know, get it myself if I find it at like a flea market or at the exchange. Even though now the exchange, I don't know if you guys have the exchange. I don't know if they're only like in Ohio, or if it's like a nationwide thing or global thing, but I'm sure it's not a global thing, but for those of you that live in the United States, I don't know if any of you have heard of the Exchange before, but it's just a shop that like sells old games. They started off doing like music, but now they sell games and stuff too, and movies. Pretty much everything they have in stock is used. But they, you know, one day they just decided to start charging outrageous prices for things. Like, I don't know when it happened, but one day I walked in there and I was like, what are these outrageous prices? And I never went back. Because it's absurd. Like, they want so much money for, like, absolutely crap games. Like, I think the running joke between me and my wife, we went there one time, and they had an old Mario Kart. It wasn't Mario Kart 8, or was it 8? That's the new one? I think so. Or 10. But it was like Mario Kart 7 or 6 for Wii. For Wii, not Wii U, for Wii. And it was $60. And I just looked at it and I'm like, how could you possibly sell a game that legitimately has a sequel, several sequels that are already out? How could you possibly charge the full price of a Wii game back in, you know, when the Wii was popular? Not only does the game have sequels, but the console has a new, better improved version of the same console. How could you possibly charge full price? And even then, how could you possibly charge $60 for a used game at all? Unless it's like a really old, you know, like well sought after game. It's freaking Mario Kart. Like there's a million copies. It blew my mind. How could it possibly be $60? That makes no sense. One eye drop. So yeah, that was pretty. As soon as I saw that, I was like, wow, that's pretty outrageous. So can I teach this? Alright. Shows ice now. Probably not the best place to use it in this ice cavern. But what is that? Is it Daydringers or is it Dead Ringers? I guess it's Dead Ringers. That was easy. I was a little afraid it was gonna be like that turtle that just like roasted me when I opened that chest that one time. Potion. Let's see, what else do we have? Lynn Huff asked, what are your feelings on Final Fantasy IX? Who's your favorite and least favorite character in that game? We actually talked about that. Someone else happened to ask that on another episode. Kind of interesting. It's a very particular question and two people asked it. But I talked about it in an earlier episode. You probably heard it because I know that you watch all the episodes, Lynn. But just to recap, I think I said Zidane is my favorite. Vivi and Freya were like close seconds. And then my least favorite would probably be Quina because she's just kind of useless. Not really useless, but just kind of a silly add-on. But as I said before, pretty much every character in that game is great, and that's why I love it so much. Well, actually, I remember I said that Steiner was probably my least favorite character. But I think maybe Quina would be worse. Both Quina and Steiner I don't really like that much, but I still think they're good characters. I still think the whole game has really good character design. This cave is friggin' huge. Mithril Sphere. Who can equip spears? Oh, it's no better than that. Sword. I can give it to Gus. Why not? Now we can get mastery in spears. Although I think doesn't my other guy use spears whenever I do find him? Yeah, you know what? I'm just gonna leave him with the long sword. I think my other dude uses spears, and if I ever find him, he can use this one. Oh, so many enemies! At least the ice will probably do damage to a balloon, right? Or a grenade. Ice, good against grenades? Yes. Maybe? Gus just roasted the grenade that I was going to use ice on. Ow. The animation is cool though. It's like probably the coolest ice animation I've ever seen. Like normal ice. It's pretty cool.